In this video, we're going to be looking at graphing circles. Okay, so we're going to start off with very basic examples here, and in the following video, we're going to be looking at things that are just a little bit more complicated. So one of the things I want to point out to you first is the type of form that we're going to be seeing in these two problems. Here, our equations are in what we call the center radius form. In the center radius form, looks like this: x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. And from here, if it's in this form, we very easily, quickly get the center of hk and the radius, which is just r. Now you got to be careful about this because you see this says r squared, but your radius is just going to be r. Also, you see that we have subtraction in this form. We have x minus h, y minus k. So when we are trying to identify the h and the k, we have to do the opposite of what we see, as is common with those kinds of forms. So here in this problem, it's already set up to be in center radius form. You'll notice here that this is just x squared. It's not x and other stuff in parentheses squared, it's just x squared. And what that means is that it has not been shifted left or right at all. So for the center, your x is going to be 0. Now for the y, we see y plus 4. But as I mentioned here, because the form has a negative, you're always going to do the opposite of what you see. So even though I see a positive 4, to identify the y coordinate of my center, I'm going to do the opposite, which is negative 4. And now we get to talk about the radius. So this, all that over here, is my radius squared. So that means r squared is 16, which means that r is just 4. Okay? 16 is not my radius. 16 is the square of my radius. So in order to find my radius, I do the square root, which means my radius is 4. So let's take this information and put it together to form our picture. All right, so you can't use the radius until you know where you're starting from, and that's going to be the center. Now here's something that they probably don't tell you too much, but the center is not a point on the circle. It's just a reference point. So the center is 0, negative 4, so right here, so I'm going to do an open circle. The open circle denotes that it's not part of the solution set. Again, it's just a reference point. To get other points for your circle, use your radius. The radius of 4 means that from that center, you're going to be 4 units out in every direction. Now, it's kind of hard to do 4 units out in a diagonal direction, but going up, down, left, and right, it's very easy to get 4 key points, and that should be enough to draw a close facsimile of a circle. All right, so radius of 4 means I'm going to go up 4 units, down 4 units, to the left 4 units from that center, and to the right 4 units. And so from here, you're going to do your best to draw a circle. Draw a circle, not a square, not a diamond, but a circle. Circles are kind of round-ish. All right, so it should look something like this. Yes, I know that my circles are not going to be perfect. I'm just trying to do my very best to draw a circle. So something like that. And that's it. And what we're saying here when we draw this circle is that every point that is on this circle, every point, even those really wacky ones that are hard to pinpoint, all of these guys represent solutions to this equation. This center is not a solution. If you plug in 0, negative 4 up here, it doesn't give you 16. So it's not a solution. So don't fill it in. You fill it in, you're wrong. Let's look at another example. All right, so down here we have x plus 2 quantity squared plus y minus 5 quantity squared equals 9. So this is already set up in that center radius form. So let me just write that above here in case you already forgot it and you don't want to bother with rewinding the video, because you know how difficult that is. There is your form. So your center is the ordered pair and it's going to be the opposite of what you see. So the x coordinate is going to be the opposite of what you see with the x. So that means it's -2. And the y coordinate is the opposite of what you see inside here. So that's going to be +5. Your radius, looking at what that is, if r squared equals 9, then that means that r is the square root of that, so it's just going to be 3. So my radius is 3. All right, seems simple enough. Take my center, which is -2, +5. Make sure you do plot that correctly. -2, +5. Again, it's an open point. And my radius is 3, so that means up, down, left, and right, I'm going to be moving 3 units. So up 3 units from here, down 3 units, to the left, 1, 2, 3 to the right. And we draw the circle. And that's all there really is to this. So as long as your circles are in center radius form, we're going to be okay. You just draw it, and you're done, and you move on. What we're going to see next is we're going to see examples where your equation is not in center radius form, but we're going to see how we can put it in center radius form so that the rest of the problem is nice and easy.